And I got up in front of the Swedes and I said, I wanted to say, I love Sweden. And what I said is, I want to make love to Swedes. I wasn't lucky. Nobody took me up on it, though. Every year, one of the hardest jobs we have is out of the hundreds and hundreds of cases where people recover, we have to pick 10 or 15 to write about. And this year it was spectacular. Brain cancers, liver cancers, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS, and right down the list. Easy things like cardiovascular disease. They're so easy, not even worth talking about. Diabetes type 2. So here we go, the building blocks. That's the planet you live on. Now look at those stars and planets around it. It's massive. It's massive. But we're going to start to where we have a problem, why humanity is suffering so much at this stage. Biology and its related health is understood only when we eliminate the fabricated theory that there is a beginning and an end. The problem we have individually, and certainly in science, is we like everything to be neat little packages, little boxes, categorical. And the problem with that is that's not real. That there really is no beginning and end. That's a human concept. The sun's rays, the source of life on Earth, as Anna Maria spoke earlier. All life is generated by light that manifests frequencies. So when you see the light coming down, you don't know it, but it's highly, highly vibrating energy. That's what light is. And we call it, because of our ignorance, UV and UA rays. Now those frequencies are captured and converted into energy. Now take a breath. I want you to get every bit of this. Tonight, when you got your clothes on and got into a car or a bus or a train to come here, that all originally came from the sun. And it was the frequencies from the sun that in your body and what you hopefully eat created the energy for you to do that. The energy for you to understand Anna Maria. Every drop of energy is a vibration that comes from the sun. Now this is not a theory, this is a fact. Single-cell life forms and the green plants they spawned possess receptor-like chargeable batteries that convert this energy into matter, protein. Now, isn't it sad? We talked about the sun, we talked about frequencies, we talked about energy, and science doesn't even talk about that. They start here with proteins. So they wait till the fourth phase to even start to acknowledge anything. Why? We can measure proteins. We can understand. It's quantitative. It's qualitative. So our little minds don't have to be overwhelmed by the first three things. Now, quantum scientists talk about it, but unfortunately, they haven't really systematically understood it in the way they could present it yet. Now, these single-cell life forms here in Sweden this morning, we flew in yesterday, last night. We get up here and at home, and no matter where I am or my family in the world is, and we take 5 types of these algae every day. We take an ocean phytoplankton, we take 3 forms of blue-green algae, 1 form of green algae. Why? Nothing has more of that frequency than that, except the grasses come in a close second. Sea vegetables come in a close third. So the core of your diet shouldn't be what you want, sweet and fat. We're all addicted to sweet and fat. And you become fat and not so sweet. Yeah. But bottom line is, you need to have the things that have the highest amount of what in them? Frequencies.
Could you say that?
The evolution of matter. Matter has evolved into endless life forms, including humans. Life forms are perpetually connected to and contain these frequencies. So you see there Sven and Pia, And it's really just energy going like this. Very attractive energy in their cases, right? But when you look at it really, really close, this is what an X-ray does. It actually takes away the flesh, and what are we looking at? What is an MRI? What is an ultrasound? We're actually measuring the frequencies in the body. But let's give them chemicals because we can make money on chemicals. Let's not change their frequencies. Not long ago, Anna Marie and I discovered the latest cutting edge in laser therapy. You should see what this does. We flew out 3,000 miles, and Anna Maria locked herself for 4 days in an office to study with this doctor who was an expert in it. And when we use those high laser frequencies, cold laser frequencies, what it does to regulate the frequency in the body that's weird, the disease, it's like a bad person. You slap them in the head and they wake up and start to do the right thing again. So we added that to our repertoire of $1.75 million worth of electromagnetic frequency we use. So we don't only look at you as biology. We've been for 30 years now treating with biofrequencies. And the good news is the young people here know it, the older people my age don't. That every 6 to 9 months, technology doubles. So the machines I buy now, I will give away 3 years from now. As an example, we use something called Undamed, U-N-D-A-M-E-D. It is by far the best biofrequency therapy machine in the world. It diagnoses, and the same machine, when it picks up your deficiencies, starts to fix you again. 7 days ago, I sat in a room in California. I found the new generation that's coming. So my $25,000 machine I bought 2 years ago, I'm going to donate to somebody, and we're going to bring new technology in that's 4 times better. That's how rapidly things are moving now. It's amazing. Appearance and perception, as well as limited imagination, that's our biggest problem. Yours and my biggest problem. We have a limited imagination. We actually believe a doctor who we've never met before, and they see you for 5 minutes, and they tell you, you're really sick, and you say, okay, let me go home and die. Now, can you imagine that? What limited imagination? You actually think that disease kills you. Limited imagination. You think when you get old you have to suffer and you lose your mind and have pain. Limited imagination. Everything comes down to limited imagination. And if we could just eradicate that, as we've seen tens of thousands of people do after the Hippocrates experience, they can eradicate any disease. Remember, we're not lucky enough to get sick people. We get the sickest people in the world and the smartest people in the world. So 2 weeks ago, who was there? Is Venus Williams, the top female tennis player in the world. Last year, who was there? Anthony Hopkins. So if you are smart and want to stay young and healthy and vibrant, you come. Or if you're dying and smart, you want to come. Now, if you're not happy, don't bother coming, because you might as well die. The only reason people want to live is if they're happy. Do you follow that? So when people come to me and they say to me, why I'm here is I want to get better, I say it's not enough, you're not going to get better. They look at me, they say I'm spending money, I'm spending time, you say I'm not going to get I say no, you will never get better if all you want is to get better from a disease. What a mundane, a silly life, just to worry about a disease. They said, what should I want? I said, to be happy. Up here, you want the big thing, you want the happy thing. And by the way, what prevents you from being happy? Disease. And so, you'll get rid of the disease if you get to that happy thing. Do you follow me? Now, how do you become happy? You find what turns you on. Not what you think turns you on intellectually, but what you feel here. If you think dancing and singing in the streets of Stockholm turns you on, get out there and do it. If you think leaving an occupation that you make plenty of money with, but you're unhappy, and going to do something you'll make less, go ahead and do it. If you think why you got sick is because of something that happened to you 30 or 40 years ago, get over it. It's all limited imagination. This has propelled humanity into a deep sense of insecurity. When you don't know things, you freak out. Everything's overwhelming to you. Do you understand? Oh, that's bad, and this is bad, and the world's coming to an end. And oh my God, do you see all the bad things that are happening? You see all the good things that are happening? I see many, many, many more good things than I see bad things. This has led us to the disconnect from the totality of endless life. What is the totality? Everything. Not only what you and I understand, but many, 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 many things we don't understand. And who cares if we understand or don't understand it? Because everything on this planet and everything in the universe is working perfectly fine, except the human mind. The only problem on the planet Earth is our minds. And look at what our minds have done. We've created factories. I was sitting today at the Helsa House, where tomorrow we're going to have a massive mind-bending program. And this beautiful scene of Stockholm. And in the back is a smokestack of a factory spewing shit into the atmosphere. I said, do you see how dumb we are? I said, if you had done that 400 or 500 years ago, when some of these people were building these places, they would have marched on that place and closed it down. Because they would say, you're hurting us. But today, it slowly creeps up on us, people. We don't even know what's bad for us anymore. You go to the health store, and most of what's in a health store is garbage today. Everyone wants moderation and compromise. They don't really want to do what it takes, because we're not connected to everything. If you're connected to things, you realize what you do affects you and everything around you. And it doesn't go away, it comes back.